Hi everyone, welcome to our new knit along, our cable hat. This is a great project if you've never cabled or you haven't cabled for a long time. This is the hat we're going to be making. I totally intended to have the real life sample here to show you, but I forgot to bring it home. So here you get a nice photo of it. It's a great hat. We've had it in the pattern in the shop for a long time, and it's just an old standard favorite. Done in worsted weight yarn, so we often use either Barocco Vintage or Plymouth Galway, and yeah, it's just a really great hat. Looks good on anybody. On the pattern, oh, speaking of which, if you haven't yet received the pattern and you want to be in on this knit along, send us a message on Facebook or email us, and we will email you the pattern. And the pattern gives you the option of either knitting 3 inches of rib if you want the band to fold up. This sample one that we're doing is just going to be like this one pictured, just the 1.5 inches of ribbing on the band, no fold up. Okay, so I'm going to show you where we are. I'm going to get you at home to cast on and knit. Like I say, if you're not doing a fold back, you're going to work 1.5 inches of knit 2, purl 2 ribbing. Okay, if you do want the fold back, you would do 3 inches, but right here we're just doing 1.5 inches. So you're casting on with 4mm needles, straight needles, 106 stitches, and working in knit 2, purl 2 rib. And this hat, for demonstration purposes, is knitted flat. We've always liked doing this one flat, and then it has a very simple seam up the back. There are lots of cable hat patterns and projects that you can knit in the round. This one is one that we've always knitted flat. So yeah, so for learning purposes, this is a gooder. And yeah, so there's my 1.5 inches of rib. And just use whatever, make sure you cast on with a nice stretchy cast on. If you aren't familiar with our super simple stretchy cast on, go to our YouTube channel and have a look at that. And it's a really good start. So you're going to do, like I say, knit 2, purl 2 rib for 1.5 inches, ending with a purl 2, knit 2 row. So I just finished this row, ended with purl 2, knit 2, and so when I turn my work around and get ready to work back, I have 2 purl bumps facing me here. So my first 2 stitches here would be purl 2, knit 2, and so on. Okay, so we're going to do a row of increasing, actually, because cables tend to suck in a little bit of extra width in the work of your knitting. So it's always a good idea before you start cabling, if you're moving from ribbing to cable, they often do tell you to do some increases so that you can compensate for the draw in that the cable is going to have happening. So on this next row, if you look on your pattern, it says rib 6 stitches. Often this term rib such and such gets people a bit bogged down, and they go, what do you mean rib 6? We've been knitting 2 and purling 2. But what you do is we're going to rib 6 stitches, so they're just assuming that you are going to keep your ribbing going. So for example, like I say, these 2 stitches here at the beginning, if we want to keep our rib going, we need to purl them because they're bumpy. They've got the purl bumps, so we would purl 2, knit 2, purl 2. So if it says rib 6, at this point, to get the ribbing, keep the ribbing going, this is what we're doing. So purl 2, knit 2, purl 2. Okay, so that's our rib 6. Okay, so now we need to do an increase, and we're going to do a make 1 increase. I'm just laughing. You can see that the last thing I knitted with these needles, wood needles, must have been dark blue because my needle tips are blue. So to do a make one increase, the way we're going to do it this time, I'm just going to move this over, is we are going to go and we're going to create a brand new stitch by taking the tip of our left needle and dipping down into the row below and grabbing the bar between the last and the next stitch from the previous row, okay? And we're going to go from front to back and we're going to put it on our left needle. Now, if we were to just knit this stitch at this point, knit this loop, we would get a gaping hole. Okay, so you know you've done it wrong if you get a big hole. So let's do this again. You're going to pick up that stitch from front to back, pick up the bar, but we're not going to knit through the front of it. We're going to knit through the back of it, okay, which is a little bit awkward sometimes to get work through here. So I knit through the back of that loop, okay, and we've created a brand new stitch. Now the pattern says make one, rib 3, repeat from the asterisk to the last 7 stitches. So that means we are going to make one, rib 3, make one, rib 3, all the way along the row until we have 7 stitches left. Now we've made one. Now we need to we come to that term again, rib 3. So for example here, these next 3 stitches, we have a knit stitch facing us, knit, knit, purl. So to keep the rib going right where we are, we're going to knit, knit, purl. That's our rib 3 at that point. If it had been 2 purls and a knit, we would have done that. But whatever we need to do to keep our ribbing going is what they're asking us to do. Okay, and then we're going to make one again. So pick up that bar from the row below, the bar from front to back. Like I say, don't knit through the front of it, knit through the back leg of it. Now you see here it's hard to grab it. It just doesn't want to go on my needle. I'm going to show you a little trick. If you take your needle and roll it under, it rolls it to the back. Watch this. If I just go whoop, there we go. It's now through the back. Okay, so you knit that through the back. And now we need to rib 3 again, and we've got a purl bump here and 2 knits. So we are purling and knitting 2. That's our rib 3. Okay, and same thing, pick up the bar from the row below, knit through, I'm going to roll it. I can try and go through, catch the back. It's a little tricky. See if I can do it. I got it. But if you can't get it, roll your needle right under and it pops right through there. So there's my make one. Now I've got 2 purls, 2 bumps here, so I'm going to purl 2 and knit 1. And I'm going to make another one. Okay, so pick up that bar, knit through the back of it. I'm going to roll it. There we are. And I'm going to, now I've got 1 knit here and 2 purls. So I'm going to knit 1, purl 2 to keep my rib 3 going. Okay, and pick up that bar front to back, knit through the back of it. Oh, it doesn't want to go. I'm going to roll it over and knit through the back. Now I've got 2 knits and a purl, and I'm going to make another one. And you're going to do that all the way along your row until you have 7 stitches left. And at that point, you're going to make 1 more stitch and you're going to rib the last 7. So that last 7 will be, let me see here, your last, make one, your last 7 will be knit 1, purl 2, knit 2, purl 2. Those are how your last 7 ribs will work out at the end here. Okay, so you're going to make 1, rib 3, make 1, rib 3 until you have 7 stitches left, and then you will make 1 more and rib your last 7. And at the end of all that, you should have 138 stitches. So complete that row. If you hadn't already gotten started on your rib when we sent you the pattern, obviously spend a bit of time, get your ribbing done, and then do your increase row. And we will be back, what's tonight? Tonight is Tuesday. We will be back on Thursday night for the next steps. And yeah, have fun. We will see you Thursday night, 7 p.m. Pacific.